Hello, everyone. My name is John Cottrell, and welcome to Power Hour. This is a 60-minute power vinyasa yoga practice. And welcome. We've got a class for you that's going to be full of binds. So I've called the class Wrap It Up. So you're going to need some props for this class. So, of course, you'll need your yoga mat. So go ahead and roll out your yoga mat. And we will probably need a couple of blocks or something that you can actually sit on. This will actually help with one of our poses. But blocks can also help just to bring the floor a little bit closer to you. Like if you're doing a side angle pose, for example, you just want to place your hand on something. So blocks are just great to have. So blocks will be helpful in this class. You may want to have a yoga strap or something that resembles a yoga strap. It could be a jump rope. It could be a belt, even just like the belt from a bathrobe or something like that, just something long like this. You can even be a hand towel, just a short hand towel will work for this too. So strap, blocks, yoga mat, some bottled water, and we are ready to begin. So let's start in mountain pose. So go ahead and stand nice and tall near the top of your mat. I'm going to start facing you, then I'm going to turn sideways here. So we want our toes pointing forward with our feet about hip distance apart. We'll take a few moments here. And before we stand in complete stillness, go ahead and take a few moments and roll your shoulders, big circles. Roll your shoulders backward a few times and then forward, and kind of exaggerate this. Really get into the shoulders. Just like that. And one other thing that we'll do here is actually take your left arm, bring it across your body, and just hug it in, just like this with the other arm. Just like this. Just to get a little pull and a little stretch sensation, just kind of across. It starts from the back and around through the front of the shoulder. Let's do the other side. Just a quick little stretch. And of course, as we start moving in our practice, that too will start warming up our bodies. All right, go ahead, just bring your arms down by your side. Let's start with some breathing. So a nice full breath in, you can breathe in through your nose. Exhale through your nose or through your mouth. One more time. And then as you're able, just bring your body to stillness. Just holding here. Continue with your slow, deep breathing. Perhaps breathe in a way where you can hear your breath. Listen to that oceanic sound of your breathing. And feel how your body is responding to your breath. That might mean as you inhale, you might feel your breath rising upward to fill up your lungs. Then your exhale, you might connect to your center by engaging your abdominal lock. That's just engaging your abdominal muscles. So you might feel your belly button pull in gently towards your spine and just feel that energy in your center. So again, a nice full breath in, feeling the breath rise, filling up your lungs. Slow and controlled exhale, drawing navel inward towards spine. Engagement in your center body. Just a few more breaths like that. Feeling your breath, listening to the sound of your breath. Very nice. Go ahead and take 3 more breaths in and out as a way to prepare our bodies to move. When you're ready, inhale and extend your arms overhead. Reach high. Treat it like a nice stretch. Exhale, we'll fold forward, so a good hinge from your hips. Bend your knees as much as you need to as you make your way down, perhaps touching your toes or the ground. Inhale, slide your hands up to your shins, your knees, or even your thighs to extend your spine so you're flat like a table. Then exhale, fold again. Back down we go. Just going to hold here for several breaths. If you'd like, just hang heavily forward here. Loosen out those shoulders again. Maybe some circles again. Then add your head. You might nod yes, shake your head no. Just some release. Your neck, your shoulders, your upper back.
And then shifting your weight back towards your heels, bend your knees like you're going to sit down, look forward. Take your arms out to the side, then inhale, stand up tall, reach into the sky. And the exhale, bring your hands together and down to your heart. Just hold here for a moment, take a breath or two. Let's repeat that same sequence. That's our half salute to the sun. When you're ready, inhale, sweep the arms out and up, reach high. Exhale, let's fold forward. Again, a good hinge from your hips, bend your knees, make your way down. Inhale, rise up halfway, creating a nice long tabletop position. Exhale, fold. Just a brief pause here at the bottom. Shifting your weight back towards your heels, bend your knees, look forward, arms out to the side. Then inhale, grow tall, reach into the air, big stretch. Exhale, hands together and back down to your heart. Let's hold here for several breaths, just returning to stillness. Very nice. We're going to continue our sequence, just adding on. So this was series A of our sun salutation. Here we go. Inhale, reach into the air. And exhale, let's fold forward, making our way down. Take your time if you need to, never have to rush. Inhale, rise up halfway so the top of your head leads you forward. Exhale, bend your knees enough to bring your hands down to the ground and walk both of your feet back into plank pose, a high push-up position. Breathe in once you're here. Exhale, bend your elbows, squeeze them in towards your ribs as you lower your chest down towards the floor. Inhale, press into the mat with the hand straightening your arms to open your chest to look forward. Exhale onto your toes, lifting your hips into the air in our inverted V shape, downward facing dog. We're going to hold here for several breaths. While you hold, you can make some adjustments with your feet, perhaps your hands on your mat to help settle in. I like to keep a slight bend in the knees here so you can send the hips up a little higher while hands press firmly into the mat. Strong upper body. If it feels okay, very gently, just sink your chest lower towards the floor. We're just getting into the shoulders, and then soften that by sending your upper back forward towards the front of your mat, and then sink once again, slowly and gently. This opens the chest, it stretches the shoulders, and then release. Bringing your upper back forward a little bit, getting out of that deep stretch. And then just pause in your natural down dog. Take a full breath in. Exhale, walk, step, or hop, both feet up to the top of your mat. Inhale to extend your spine. Exhale, fold, weights in the heels, soft knees. Inhale, reverse your swan dive. Grow tall, reach into the air. We're going to keep this moving. As you exhale, take chair pose. Sit back into your imaginary seat, arms extended. Breathe in. Exhale, dive out of your seat down towards your toes, forward fold. Inhale, rise up halfway. We'll call it monkey pose. Exhale, bend your knees. Bring your hands down to the floor. Walk, step, or hop both feet back into plank pose. Breathe in. Exhale, bend elbows. Lower your way down. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, press into the floor. Straight arms, open chest. Looking forward. Exhale, onto your toes. Hips into the air. Downward facing dog. Quickly adjust the hands and feet. Settle into the posture. Then inhale, extend right leg up behind you, reaching back nice and long. Exhale, right foot to the top of the mat. Left heel turns to the floor behind you. Make sure to put some weight in that back foot. Inhale, float upward. Warrior one, reaching into the air. Exhale, fold again. Bring your hands back down to the ground. We're going to step back into plank pose. Bend elbows, lower your way down. Inhale, our upward facing dog. You can even choose cobra pose right there. Exhale, downward facing dog. Then inhale, extend left leg up and back, reach long. Exhale, left foot to the top of the mat. Right heel turns to the floor. Good connection back there. Lightness in the hands. Again, inhale, float your way up, warrior one. And exhale, fold, bringing hands back down to the mat. Step back, plank pose, finishing, coming down, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Very nice. Let's hold in down dog for several breaths. Again, if you'd like, you can sink the chest, soften it up, sink again, and soften. We're going to go take a seat to the ground. You can just kneel down to take your seat or hop forward, cross your legs, take a seat in the center of your mat, and go ahead and roll down onto your back. Once you're down, go ahead and plant the feet into the ground, knees bent. So feet on the floor, knees bent. Just hold here for several breaths so you can just make contact with the ground, with your upper body. Find your breath. Take a nice full breath in, fill up your lungs. Exhale, empty the belly, engaging. Lifting hips right up into the air. And there's our bridge pose. Now with the upper body, see if you can do this. Rock left and right with the upper body a little bit to get your shoulders and arms underneath you. You're almost lying on top of the shoulders rather than on your back. Your upper back is somewhat lifted off the ground at this point. If you're able, keep the arms straight on the floor, and if you can, interlace your fingers underneath you. If you can do that, go ahead and do that. And that's going to help keep the arms and shoulders in place. To keep breathing deeply, just fill up your lungs, feel like they're expanding, feel your hips lift a little higher. Keep rooting strongly down into the floor with your feet. Part of our binding postures will involve our arms and shoulders. We need to find some spaciousness in our shoulders. 2 more breaths here. If your fingers are folded underneath you, release the fingers. Wiggle your toes forward a little bit. Extend your arms straight up into the air. That'll get your shoulders out from underneath you now. And then roll your way down to the floor. Go ahead and hug both knees into chest. Start to rock forward and back. A good exhale to rock your way up to seated. Coming to boat pose. I'm just going to sit here, just adjust my seat. There we go. And then lifting feet up into the air like so. Flexing the feet or pointing your toes, something like that, just to keep the feet activated. That'll keep your legs nice and strong here. Feel free to hold on to your legs, helping to lift up through the sternum, maintaining a length in the spine. 2 more breaths. We're going to take a third inhale. We're going to move here. Exhale, cross legs, hands in front to perhaps hop or step back into plank pose. Hold plank, strong straight line. Take a shortcut to down dog. Just bend your knees a little, send your hips into the air, downward facing dog. You can always go through the full sequence if you'd like. Arriving in down dog, let's continue with our lunges. Inhale, extend right leg up behind you. Exhale, right foot to the top of the mat. Left heel turns to the floor behind you. Again, put some good weight on that back foot so there's less weight in your hands. Inhale, rise up, warrior 1. Or exhale, turning your torso towards the left side of the room. Arms down to parallel, warrior 2. Here we are. I like to take a bit of a wider stance, just taking the feet a little bit farther apart, lunging a little bit deeper, getting into the right inner thigh here. That left leg is nice and straight, really good connection into the ground with that back foot. Arms extended. Let's take this to side angle pose, reaching forward, rotate the arms. Now, I take a partial position, meaning my right arm is just braced against my right inner leg, left hand reaching into the air. Now, you could go lower, okay, by bringing the hand all the way down to the floor or bring in those stacked blocks. Stay here, but you're going to bring your left hand down behind you and just place it on your low back or even on your left hip like this. Here, you want to create 3 circles with the shoulders. 1, 2, just rolling it backward, and 3. Then hold it back, just opening up through the chest here. This right arm, even if the fingertips are touching the ground or your blocks, braced against the right leg. Really opening up through the front portion of the body. Let's inhale to re-extend, left hand up into the air. Exhale, turn and bring the hands down to the ground. Step back into plank pose. Hold plank. Again, another shortcut to down dog. Bend your knees, lift your hips into the air. Let's do the other side. So your inhale to extend left leg up. Exhale, left foot to the top of the mat. Right heel turns to the ground. Good grounding back there. Inhale, float arms up into the sky. Warrior one. Exhale, turning open. Warrior two. Make some adjustments if you need to with your feet. Good energy in the arms as you extend. Making sure your left knee is bent and pointing directly forward. Let's take our side angle. So we're reaching out over the left thigh to angle the upper half of the body. Rotate the arms. Stay up high or go down low if that feels good for you. Just this good reaching sensation top to bottom. Now we're going to bring the right hand down behind you to the low back or right hip, just a place where you have some mobility in the shoulder. We can do that little circle again. So 1, 2, and 3. Hold it back on that third circle, opening up through the chest, left arm braced against left leg. Get that nice opening through the whole front side of your body. Let's inhale to re-extend right arm up into the air. Exhale to turn. Bring hands down to the ground. Step back, plank pose. Once again, just hold. We'll take another shortcut to down dog. Bend your knees, hips into the sky. Hold for a moment. You're going to take a seat. You can hop forward, cross your legs, and take a seat. Alrighty. Now we're going to sit with our legs crossed. If you'd like, you can sit on a block. I'm going to do that. We're going to do a little hip opening and really connecting or being aware of where the leg connects right into the pelvis. We're going to do rock the cradle. So we're going to start with the right leg. I'm going to try to mirror you here. So we'll start with the right leg. You're going to place that foot, if you can, in the opposite elbow, bend of the elbow, something like this. Okay? If you can't reach that spot, just hold on to the foot in your hand like that. And then right hand holding on to right knee, just like this. So I'm going to try to place foot in the bend of left elbow over here in the hand. Maybe I can do both elbows. There we go. And then sit up as tall as you can. Sitting on a block is going to help that. Sitting up nice and tall, and just feel a sensation of lifting the shin up towards the ceiling and hug the leg in towards your body. Lift, hug, lift, hug. Okay, now it won't really move a whole lot, but it's really creating that stretch right in this section of the body, right where that leg meets the pelvis. And here's the rocking of the cradle. See, it looks like I'm like holding a baby and just giving a little rock right here. Just giving a little nudge, shift, change, again, in that leg socket. Let's do that a couple more times, a couple more breaths perhaps. And we'll release that and then hold on to the foot in your hand and your knee in your hand. So you have a little bit more mobility, and maybe create some circles or lots of movements. Might be back and forth like this, up and down, circles, angles, just really getting a sense of how the leg can move. There you go. Moving it around. And then we'll finish by coming to half lotus, just by bringing this foot over here onto the thigh. So it's just resting there. Now you can see on this side there's a little bit of a gap, and that's okay if there's a gap. You can just hold on to the knee with your hand just to support it, or if it can go down, maybe like that, just connecting or just touching the other foot or the floor, wherever you are. But it's okay if it doesn't connect, just hold on to it. We're just holding there for a moment. Very nice. And then we're going to extend the leg and take it out to the side. Yes, way out there, just for a nice lengthening and stretch right there. Hold for a moment, just sit up nice and tall. One breath. Okay, we're just going to bend this knee. Let's do the other leg now. So we're going to rock the cradle, placing the other foot either in the bend of the right elbow or right hand. holding onto the knee. And we're lifting up through the shin. We're lifting shin towards ceiling, hug in towards body. Lift, hug, lift, hug. Not too forcefully. Just at a place where it's like, okay, now I'm starting to feel that stretch. You might feel this a little bit in the hamstring, kind of in the lower glute, as well as just where the leg makes its connection. And then you can rock the cradle. Just kind of that back and forth feeling. All righty, couple more breaths. And then we'll come to our half lotus. And so again, we're just going to rest the left foot on right thigh here. And again, it's okay if there's a gap between the knee and the foot on the other side here, or maybe it can come down. Or you can even place a block or a pillow or something in between. So these are some hip openers. So one of the poses that we're going to be working with, even though we're going to be working with some binds, which includes our shoulders, is a pose that we're doing that's going to be including our hips. That's why we're doing some hip openers here too. All right, let's go ahead and extend this left leg out to the side. One more breath. And there we go. All righty. Let's come to a boat pose. So if you're using a block, just set that to the side. Find a new seat, legs extended and lifted, boat pose, just a couple breaths, and we'll continue our flow. Here we go. Inhale and exhale, cross legs, hands in front, hop or step back, plank pose. Come down if you like, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, up dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. Here, we'll inhale, extend right leg up and back. Exhale, right foot to the top of the mat. Let's go to high lunge here. So left heel will stay lifted. All 10 toes will be pointing forward. We do want to shift the weight back so there's less weight in the hands. So again, we can hinge from hips and rise up. Take arms up into the air initially. Reach up high and lunge. It's going to sink and settle into the posture. We're going to do something a little different with the arms in a moment. But first, get that good reaching feeling. And then bend the elbows. So your arms, I'm just going to turn towards you so you can see this. So you have this goalpost shape like that with the arms. Just like that. And feel as if you were going through a doorway, but your arms are caught in the door, but your chest still wants to go forward. So feel the chest opening, maybe even squeeze shoulder blades together. Now, one more change. You're going to bring the arms down and back a little bit as you hinge forward, just like this. Just reach back, open palms, angled upper body, shoulders are still wrapped back behind you. Then if you're able, one last thing, interlace your fingers here and maybe reach through your knuckles, reaching down towards that back heel. A couple more breaths. We're going to start to fold, bring in your torso down towards thigh. Once it touches, release the fingers, bring hands to the floor, press. So you can slide the right foot back, plank pose, Chaturanga. Up dog or cobra, and exhale, downward facing dog. So a lot in that lunge. Let's do the other side. Inhale, extend left leg up, left foot to the top of the mat, right heel stays lifted, find your center. Inhale, float the arms up into the air. Hold there for a moment. As you reach high, you lunge low. Even squeeze the inner thighs towards each other to help stabilize the body, since this does take some balance. Change your arms to that goalpost shape. Walk through your doorway. Arms pull back. Chest moves forward. Squeeze shoulder blades together. Then bring the arms down and start reaching behind you as you hinge upper body, kind of at this 45-degree angle, reaching back with strong, active hands. Then interlace fingers. Reach through your knuckles. Now, if you can't interlace fingers, that's okay. You can just keep the hands open and free and just reach through your fingertips. Fold a little bit until torso touches thigh. Release fingers, bring hands to the floor. Press into the ground. Step back, plank pose. Complete your series. Chaturanga, up dog, downward facing dog. Breathe in. Exhale, walk, step, or hop both feet back up to the top of your mat. Inhale, extend spine. Exhale, fold. Weights in the heels, soft knees. Inhale, reverse your swan dive. Come all the way up. We're still in motion here. As you exhale, bring your arms down and slightly back, just like we did in that lunge. So it may look something like this, just reaching back. And then again, if you can, interlace your fingers. If you can't, that's okay. Just keep reaching through fingertips. Otherwise, just interlace fingers. Reach towards the heels of your feet or towards the floor with your knuckles. Shoulders drop, and then pull shoulders back, squeezing shoulder blades together. Bend your knees slightly forward like this. Tip over. We're just mimicking what we just did in those lunges. We're just doing it with the feet together. So we're kind of in this chair-like position, reaching back through the knuckles, just like this. This is as far as we'll go. This is enough for the shoulders. All right, we're going to stand up tall, straightening the legs, release the fingers, reach up into the air. Let's keep it moving. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, monkey pose. Exhale, hands to the ground. Walk or step back, plank pose. Come on down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. We're going to take another seat. So hop forward, cross legs to take a seat, or just kneel down to take your seat. Okay, I'm going to face you again. I'm just going to adjust my mat. I think that works. Here we go. All right, let's take cobbler's pose for a moment. So here, just the soles of your feet touch like this. You can hold onto your feet, your ankles, or your shins. And if you're holding on to the limbs here, just sitting up nice and tall. And just a little opening for the inner thighs. So bound angle pose. It's actually a binding posture. Binding because we're holding on with our hands to our ankles or shins. All right, we're going to do a pose, and it has several names. I'll throw out those names. Double pigeon, fire logs, or knee to ankle pose. And this is how we'll get into the posture. Again, I'm going to try to mirror you. So let's take left leg and place it out in front of us like this, And so your shin, make sure your shin is pretty parallel or aligned with the front edge of your mat. So if you can see me, this, I don't know if you can see this, but this is more at an angle, okay? This is at an angle. So you just want to adjust so that your shin is a little bit more in the alignment as your front edge of your mat, and then flex the foot like that. And then we're going to match it with the right leg. So we're going to bring this foot and ankle, and as you can, place the ankle on top of the knee over here. And then this knee ideally is going to touch this ankle. Now, if you're like this, and this is your pose, then stay just like this. Just use your hands pressing into the floor and just sit up as tall as can be, because you probably feel this in the outer hips. Now, maybe you can go a little lower. I can go a little lower, but let's say you still have this gap. This is where you may want to use a pillow or a block and just place in between. Something like this will work perfectly, just like that. Okay? So this is double pigeon, because it kind of resembles pigeon pose, but we're just stacking those legs, or stacking fire logs, okay? You can see it kind of resembles that. Or just ankle to knee pose. Now I'm almost able to touch knee to ankle here. To add a little bit more, if you want, you can actually, I just like to rest my arms right here on the top limb, lean into it carefully, gently,
and it sends that knee down, touching the ankle. Now, I'm really feeling this in my outer hips. If this is way too much sensation, don't worry about it. You can always back up and out of the pose or soften it up by creating that gap, okay? Now, again, to get that sensation that's happening in the hips, you have to have this kind of straight line with the legs, again, parallel to the front edge of your mat. Let's go ahead and take 2 more breaths. This too is going to help us with one of our poses. All right, if you're folded, we're coming back up. Maybe place the hands behind you so you can lean back. Let's extend the legs. Maybe just take them out in a V shape like this. Maybe wiggle your toes and just a little rocking sensation, kind of in and out with the legs, just to kind of open things back up after being in that particular posture. And then we'll do the other side. So we'll bring the right leg in, so that'll be the bottom log, okay? Again, being sure your shin is parallel to the front edge of your mat, and I'd suggest flexing the foot. Flexing the foot just kind of stabilizes everything here. And we're gonna take that left foot, ankle to knee right there. Maybe this is the end of your pose, just like this. Just use your hands, push into the ground, lifting up the torso. Your torso lifting will actually create some more space in your pelvis and hips, and it might open it up a little bit. It's okay if you have this gap. Close the gap maybe with a pillow or a block, something like that. Or maybe you can bring the knee all the way down. Let's say you can. Let's say you can. And there's that connection here. Let's say you still don't feel much. Then you may want to fold forward. Another way to add more sensation, if you need it or want it, is actually take this top leg and move it more to the right, like this. So the ankle is almost off of the knee. Okay, that's going to create more sensation. Okay, that's going in that direction. You can always create less sensation by bringing the foot back to the inside of that knee. Okay, so different ways you can be in this pose. Let's take a few more breaths. I'm using my hands. This feels good to push into the floor, lifting torso. Again, it creates a little bit more space in the hips, and I can get that connection I want here. All right, soften things up. Lean back. Let's again re-extend the legs out at an angle like so. A little rocking in and out. A little rotation for the legs. And let's come back to boat pose. Breathe in. Here we go. Exhale, cross legs, hands in front. Hop or step back, plank pose. Let's hold plank. Take a shortcut to down dog. Bend the knees, hips into the air. Back to our lunge sequence. Inhale, extend right leg up. Exhale, right foot to the top of the mat. Warrior 1. Left heel plants into the floor. Inhale, float your way up. Arms into the air, exhale, opening warrior 2. As you're able, let's take a bit of a wider stance, lunging a little deeper. Maybe you're getting this alignment of knee right over ankle. Nice tall torso, arms extended. Reach way out with the right arm. Angle the body, rotate the arms. Here we are. We're going to bring left hand down behind you. Same thing. Some more circles with that shoulder. 1, 2, and 3. Reach and hold back. All right, let's inhale, re-extend, left hand up into the air, turn, hands to the floor. We're going back to down dog. So you're gonna sweep this right leg back and right up into the air. So you're in down dog, right leg extended. Then right foot to the top of the mat, let's go to our high lunge. Shifting weight back, finding that center. Inhale, float arms up into the air. Hold for a moment to arrive in the posture. Change arms to goalpost shape, walk through the doorway. Bring arms down behind you, angle upper body, reach back. Stay here or interlace fingers. Squeeze shoulder blades together, more shoulder work. Fold a little bit, bringing torso down towards thigh. Then release the fingers, hands to the ground. Step back, plank pose, hold. Chaturanga. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Inhale, extend left leg into the air.
Left foot to the top of the mat, right heel plants. Reach forward, rise up. Exhale, open, warrior two. Same thing. Let's adjust. Going a little wider if you can. Lunging deeper, knee over ankle bone. Side angle, reaching way out over left thigh. Rotate the arms. Reach high and low. Right hand comes down behind you. Let's do those same circles with the shoulder. 1, 2, and 3. Hold it back. We'll inhale to re-extend, right hand up into the air. Turn, hands to the floor, right back to down dog. Sweep left foot back and up into the sky, reach. Left foot to the top of the mat, high lunge. Float your way up. Arrive in the posture, reach high lunge low. Bend elbows to goalpost. Walk through the doorway. Bring arms down behind you, hinge at 45 degrees, reach back. Stay here or interlace fingers. If you can't interlace, shoulders are still pulling back, squeezing shoulder blades together. Hinge or fold, torso touches thigh. Hands release, hands to the floor, step back, plank. Let's just stay in plank and bring knees to the ground. Okay, we're gonna sit in hero for this next portion. If you can stay in hero, stay here, or if you need to, come to a seat, a regular seat, okay? Now you're gonna need your strap for this one. Okay, I'm gonna face away from you, just so I don't confuse my left and right, okay? So we're in hero, or just take a regular seat. You can even sit on a block. Okay, you're gonna place the strap in your left hand and extend your arms out to the side like this. So you're holding on to the strap in left hand, arms out like a T. Let's bring left hand up into the air and see if you can just let that strap drop down behind you. With your right hand, spin the right palm towards the back of the room. It's an internal spiral or inner rotation of the arm. Or bending your elbow like you're a scarecrow and slide your hand down to low back like you're sliding on a belt. You might be able to grab your strap here. But before you do that, actually you're going to bend the left elbow and drop it down like this, or drop the hand down. Elbow is bent, drop hand down towards neck. Now you can hold on to the strap with both hands, just like this. Now, the real posture, or another way of doing the posture, is to actually clasp your fingers together or bind your hands. But if you can't reach your hands, this is why we're using the strap, towel, or belt. Let's release and take the arms back out to a T and then down to relax. Okay, go ahead and bring the strap around to the other side. Before we do the other side, I'm just going to face you now. Go ahead and bring one arm across, stretch. Like we did at the very beginning of our practice. Okay, so we get a little bit of a pull from the back around towards the front of the shoulders. Take it back out like you're opening up a door, back down. Other arm reach across the body, hug it in. We just need some good mobility in the shoulder. Release, reopen the door, and then back down. Okay, so let's do that arm binding with the other side. So now we got the strap in the right hand, left hand's off to the side. We're bringing right hand up into the air. Drop your rope down behind you. Spin the left palm to the back of the room. Inner rotation of the shoulder. Bend your elbow like a scarecrow. Slide your hand onto low back like you're putting on a belt. Bend right elbow, bringing the right hand down towards neck. Right elbow is pointing towards ceiling, and then find the strap with your left hand, and there we go. Now what we're working toward is called cow face pose. So we're working the upper body portion of the posture, and that's this binding sensation, using the strap as a nice prop and tool and resource to help us with the position. Okay, let's release, re-extend the arms out to the side, and bringing it down. All right, so that's a long time in hero pose. So come up to hands and knees tuck the toes and then sit back just to kind of stretch out the toes, just like that. All righty. Now we did the upper body portion of cow face. Let's do the lower body portion. So come back up to hands and knees. I'm just going to adjust my mat again. So we're here. See if I can guide you through this. We're going to slide the right knee forward up towards right wrist, but then slide it to center. So the knee is actually right between the hands at wrist level. Okay, they're going to tuck the left set of toes behind you so you can lift that left knee away from the floor. I'm tapping my right foot and send the right foot over towards the left side of the mat. Step your hands forward just a little bit. Okay, but before we do anything else, if your blocks are handy, bring them in kind of close. Okay, so they're nearby because you might need this. Okay, we're picking up the left foot. That's why we were shifting the weight forward so you can pick up the left foot, bend the knee, and then tuck this knee in tightly behind the right knee. Swing that foot over to the right side of the mat. So the legs are touching, squeezing, and then I'm sitting back. This is, if you're able, sit all the way onto the floor or bring in those stacked blocks or pillows or whatever you've got. Place it in that space behind you and sit right there. So that's where this is the leg portion of our cow face pose. We're not going to worry about the arms just yet because we just did the arms. Now, if this feels okay, stay here. If you need more sensation, you can fold. Again, this is getting the outer hips, just like that double pigeon pose we did. A couple more breaths here. Now, the blocks really, really help. But if you can do this all the way onto the floor, you're very welcome to. All right, to get out of the pose, just kind of push yourself forward, get the hands out in front. Need to move the blocks out of the way for a moment. We're going to do the other side. So weight out onto the hands. Let's just unbind our legs. So I'm just extending that left leg. Coming back to just a typical tabletop position, just kind of unbinding, just kind of taking it all in reverse. Let's do the other side. Now we're sliding the left knee up towards left wrist, move it to center between the hands. I'm tucking right set of toes, lifting the right knee, so I can swing the left foot over towards the right side of the mat. Stepping the hands forward enough so I can easily lift that back leg, bend the right knee, tuck the knee in tightly behind the left, and swing that right foot over to the left side of the mat. We're making a V shape behind us. Thighs, hamstrings back there squeezing tightly together. We're going to sit down all the way onto the floor or bring in those blocks again and take a seat. Now, it's okay if the legs separate here, especially if you're trying to sit on the floor. I think I only need one block for that one. So let me just use one block. There we go. It's okay if the legs separate, okay? Because you're probably still getting the experience of the pose here. You can fold a little bit for a little bit more sensation. All right, while we're sitting here, let's get set up for the whole sequence. So one thing you want to do is you'll have your blocks handy once we're finished with this pose, but bring your strap over to the left side, okay? Just over to the left side of your mat so you can easily grab it. So we'll just have it there. Okay, let's come out of this leg position. Get out onto the hands. Let's move the blocks out of the way, but nearby and handy, because you'll need those again for your little bench. Let's extend that right leg, unbind, come to hands and knees. Let's just do a quick cat and cow, several breaths. And let's get ready for our whole sequence. I'm adding a pose. I have a surprise pose. All right, back to our tabletop position. Let's move into downward facing dog. Here we go. Inhale, extend right leg up behind you. Right foot to the top of the mat. Warrior one. Left heel turns to the floor. Reach forward and rise up. This is all familiar. Opening to warrior two. Reach forward, angle upper body, rotate the arms. Left hand up, and then down behind you. Now you could fully bind this position if you wanted to. Bring in the fingers underneath you, but you don't have to. We've already got another bind coming up, but this is sufficient for this bind. Then we'll inhale, re-extend, left hand up into the air. Turn, bring hands to the floor, back to down dog. Right foot sweeps back and up into the air, reach. Right foot to the top of the mat, high lunge. Rising up, hands into the air. Reach high, lunge low. Bend elbows. Walk through the doorway. Arms reach behind you, hinge forward. Interlace fingers. Shoulder blades squeeze together. Fold. Bring hands to the floor. Step back, plank, right foot lifted. So we're here. This is where we're going to move into our cow face pose. Bend this right knee. Bring right knee to center onto the floor, angled leg. Crawl hands forward a little bit. So we can pick up that left leg, bend the knee, tuck the knee in tightly behind you. Make the V shape behind you. Bring in your blocks to take a seat. So here's the cow face we just did with the legs. Now we're going to add the arms. Grab the strap in left hand. Take arms out to the side. Arms out to the side. Left hand goes up. Drop strap down behind you. Bend elbow. Right hand, spin the palm behind you. Inner rotation of the shoulder. Reach back behind you. Find the strap. Sit up as tall as can be. What you can do here, you probably can't see my hands, but crawl your hands towards each other. If you can, go ahead and clasp your fingers. If you need more sensation, fold. This is cow face pose. Okay, like I said, we're calling it wrap it up. The legs are wrapped, and we have this bind in the arms, getting into those shoulders. Okay, let's release the arms, take them out to the side, reach, relax the arms. Let's go ahead and place the strap on the other side. Easy to grab. Here, if you're on a block, come off the block, set it to the side, but still sit down, lean back, use your hands to catch, uncross legs, even lift hips, sit back down so you're sitting comfortably and come to boat pose. And that's basically our sequence. Let's breathe in. Exhale, cross legs, hands in front, hop or step back, plank, come down, chaturanga. Up dog, downward facing dog. Other side, inhale, extend left leg up into the air, left foot to the top of the mat, right heel to the floor, reach forward, rise up. Exhale, open warrior two. Side angle, reach forward, reach up and down. Right hand comes down behind you. You can go to that full bind if you want, or stay just like this. Some circles with the arm if you need to, or that shoulder. So you can go for that full bind, or what I call this, a partial bind. Inhale, re-extend right hand up. Turn, hands to the floor, back to down dog. Sweep the left foot back and up into the air. Left foot to the top of the mat, high lunge. Rising all the way up. Reach high, lunge low, hug inner thighs. Goalpost shape with the arms. Walk through the doorway. Arms down behind you, angled upper body. Stay here or interlace fingers. Wrap shoulders. Hinge, folding, bringing chest down towards thigh. Release hands down to the ground. Step back, plank, left foot lifted. So we're here. Okay, ready for cow face. Bend the left knee, bring the knee to the floor between the hands, angle the leg. Step hands forward so you can pick up right leg. Bend that knee, tuck knee into that little pocket. Make the V shape. Start to sit back, use your blocks to sit or just sit right there on the ground.
Okay, there's our hip opener. Let's grab the strap in right hand, extend the arms out to the side. Right hand is going to go up, bend the elbow, drop the strap down behind you. Left hand, we're spinning it to the back of the room. Bend the elbow. There's our scarecrow arm. Slide the hand to find the strap. Sit up as tall as you can and just kind of walk your hands towards each other, towards the center of your back. Sit up as tall as can be. Hold on to strap or towel, or interlace or hook fingers. Fold forward if you'd like. Adding all these incredible sensations. And we're rising back up. Let's release, re-extend the arms. And we're done with the strap, so you can just set that to the side. Let's come off the block, sit back, uncross legs, resit. Just get the hip sits bones on the ground aligned, and then back to boat. Let's hold boat a little bit longer here. Very nice. Let's bring feet to the floor, extend the legs. Right here, hands on the floor by your hips. Push into the floor, sit up nice and tall. Flex your feet, shoulders back. You can stay just like this and maybe fold a little bit. This is just a staff pose, but going towards a forward fold. You can actually bring the hands out front here if you want to go a little deeper, even reach out towards toes. Just get a little lengthening in the hamstrings, especially after all that other kind of binding in the legs. Then let's inhale. Let's take the arms up into the air as you grow tall. Exhale, hands down by your side. All right. Find the center of your mat and go ahead and roll down onto your back and hug knees into chest. And a little massage here. And that might mean some circles or a rocking sensation, something that feels nurturing, a massage-like quality for your hips and back. Very nice. Okay, go ahead and extend the left leg out onto the floor. We're going to happy baby, but we're only going to work with the right leg. Okay, so let's grab hold of the bottom of the right foot as you're able from the inside of the leg. We're sending the bottom of the foot towards the ceiling. The knee is bent, it's out at an angle. So we have a good opening in the hip socket. Gently press down, press the foot down so that the knee feels like it's coming down towards the floor on the outside of the body. And because you're only doing one leg at a time here, you'll get a deeper stretch. The left leg is straight. You might even want to flex that left foot just to help stabilize that whole left side of the body. Now you can just hold here just like this. You might even add some motion if you wanted to. You can extend that leg if you want. Another thing you could do is kind of rock the cradle again if you wanted to, meaning just hug this leg back in. Hold on to the foot with the opposite hand. Right knee holding on to right hand holding on to right knee. So you can do that. Get into the hip. 2 more breaths. We'll release and extend the right leg onto the floor. Flex the foot. Let's draw left knee in. Same thing, half happy baby pose. Grab hold of the bottom of the foot, send it towards the ceiling. Leg is out at an angle but bent. Knee feels like it's coming down towards the floor on the outside of the body. Hold here for the duration or add some motion. You might extend this left leg. You might even take it to that hugging sensation if you want. That rock the cradle feeling. Three more breaths. From here, just extend the left leg out onto the floor, straight as can be.
And let's do just one quick extension. Just reach the arms behind you. So reach through your hands to the back wall, maybe with pointed toes, reach towards the wall out in front of you. Inhale in these opposite directions. Exhale, bring the arms down by your side. Let the feet relax. Let your whole body relax. So you might feel your feet just kind of fall open naturally, which actually outwardly spirals the legs. It opens the hips. Feel your low back just melt into the floor, your back, your shoulders. You might even rest here with arms by your side, but slightly away from your body, and palms up. Palms up energetically is a way of receiving energy, but also with palms up, physiologically, it just keeps the shoulders opened here. Feel free to close your eyes. Slow, deep breaths. Paying attention to your breathing. Just be sure there's still slow, steady breaths. There's still a sense of feeling the breath and listening to the sound of your breath, keeping you in the moment, fully aware and present. You're welcome to stay here for the duration of the practice. As I conclude the class and come up to seated, you can follow me or just stay here in Shavasana. Before you move at any time, just return to that full awareness of breath. You might take 5 slow, deep breaths. As you're breathing, you're bringing new energy to the body. Feel movement return to the body as well. And after your 5th breath, moving in slow motion, carefully roll onto your side, just into a nurturing pose. And then take your time, moving in slow motion, rising to seated. Find a comfortable seat. You might sit on a block or pillow. Feel the nice extension of your spine as you're sitting up tall. Your arms just relax down by your side. Shoulders relax. Your shoulders got a nice workout in this practice today. Hands can just rest in your lap. Then one last movement. Inhale, extend your arms straight up into the air. Exhale, bring your hands together and down to your heart. Hold here in stillness for a moment. Slow, steady breaths. Nice. And as we come to the close of our practice together, we bow saying, Namaste.